Hi guys, it's Blair here and I'm here to do my October wrap up. I'm not going to go into detail too much about these books, but I'm going to say that if you want me to do any reviews on any of these books, I'm quite happy to. So I'm just going to leave it up to you guys to which reviews you want to see. Most of them are on Goodreads anyway, so I'll leave my Goodreads link below. Okay, so I finished off the last half of Hex Hall Stars a month. I gave this book 5 stars. It is the first in the series and I really enjoyed this book. It really does fly by quite fast. It is fun to read. It's super engaging and you just sort of flip the pages and keep going and then it's gone. And so it was really great to start to the series. I have the second and the third book. I'm going about changing the covers of these, like getting the other covers, but I really did enjoy this, so I gave this 5 stars. Can't believe. Then I read Liesl and Poe by Lauren Oliver. I've never read a Lauren Oliver book before, but I have quite a lot of her books on my shelf. As it was Halloween, I felt like reading something Halloweeny. Most of these books are, and so I decided to start with a middle grade book because I was just feeling in the mood for something a little bit light. And it wasn't light, it was quite dark, but it was very enjoyable. Some of the parts were a little bit cliche, but a majority of the book was really vivid and fantastic, and I love the little pictures throughout the book as well, which are just beautiful illustrations, and I think the message behind it was really good as well, and Liesl is such a great character, so much mystery. So if you like some ghost sort of stories and magic and it was a slight historical element to it, then you would probably enjoy Liesl and Poe. Then I picked up Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea by April Genevieve Toll. We'll go off that. I ended up giving this book 5 stars. This is one of those books that I really, in parts I was just like, what the fuck is happening? And in other parts I was like, I'm gonna eat this shit up like candy. It was like, just, drug. It was my drug. One day I sat there and read like 180 pages of it. I couldn't stop. I needed to know what happened. It was just fantastic. Definitely not my usual style of reading, but I do love some dark twisted shit. And I don't think I've read a book like this since I've read Slice of Cherry by Dia Reeves. It's kind of got that just continuous dark undertones and it's just fantastic. It does have a romantic element to it. I wasn't too much of a fan of that because to me, if this shit was going down, I would be out the door straight away. But it's engaging. And it's relatable in some circumstances, and it just keeps you guessing till the end. Like, I had no freaking idea what the hell was going on sometimes, but it was so worth it. Definitely I would read her style again. I really love the sort of injections of pop culture and books and all that kind of stuff as well. It made the book really much more deep and really fun to read, and I really like the setting as well. The town setting was just very well done and deeply atmospheric, and I just really ate this shit up. So I will definitely be reading this book again. No doubt in my mind I'll be reading it again. It's just one of those books that it's like a train wreck basically. So, and the elements of fear and all that kind of crap. Yep, loved it. So, I haven't really heard too much about it in review-wise, but I'd recommend it. Certainly recommend it. I do have reviews for this on my Goodreads, where I better actually explain my feelings about these books. And before that, I picked up The Chaos of Stars by Kirsten White. I pretty much started this as soon as it hit my door. I love this book as well. A lot of people are giving it lower ratings. I gave it a 5 stars because I really liked it. Isadora is one of those complex characters where you just want to punch the bitch in the face most of the time because she's being pretty childish. but at the same time there's just so many undertones and so much happening in her life that is really relatable to her age, that I was able to get past that and just fully absorb the story. I love the mythological elements to this. They were fantastically portrayed. I think she did a really good job. There are so many funny parts in this book. I don't know if you guys can see, I try not to put them out too far, but I have quite a few post-it notes of funny things and romantic things and stuff like that, and just some lines. And I really, really loved that in between all the chapters, or most of the chapters, there was dream sequences and memories and things like that, and that just made the book fantastic. I love those kind of things. I love different elements in books, like letters, dream escapes, and all that sort of stuff. And this is just a beautiful book, nonetheless. So, of course there's some romance to it. I believe this is a standalone. I'm not sure if I'd read it if it was a series, but then again, it's Kirsten White, so why wouldn't I? But yeah, I love anything Egyptian gods or anything like that, so I just ate this one up as well. And again, this is one of the books that I would definitely read again. I wanted to read it as soon as I finished it, so it's probably going to be up there with a reread for next year straight away. And lastly, I'm not quite finished with it. I kind of got distracted yesterday with Nano, but that's okay. I am about that far done with The Unbecoming of Myra Dyer, and I'm pretty sure it's going to get a 4.55 stars. I really, really like this book. Now, the reason why I'm going to probably give it a 4.5 is because the starting was so confusing. It took me a long time to actually just get into the story setting, get into the way that she wrote, get into what the hell was happening, because it was just all so like messed up. But once I got involved, I was hooked. And Myra is a very complex character. She is highly readable, and the mystery elements of this book are just insane. I'm always guessing, and I get to a point where I think, oh yeah, everything's going to settle down, everything's okay, I kind of know what's happening, and then bam, she just shoves shit right down my face, and I was like, yeah, I want to eat this shit up. So, that is really great book review or thoughts. Noah Shaw, I'm not sure how he fares in the end of the book, but he's quite an interesting character as well. Her family is pretty interesting, like just the sheer complexities of each person. And the school setting, I was kind of like, do I really want to have to put up with this sort of cliche of, you know, bitchy people at school and whatnot. That was my first thought when I started the book, but it was different. It was a whole lot different to what I expected, and I really actually love that element to it as well, because it changed and rocked shit up, so it was awesome. I'll probably have a written review of this soon, and I'm definitely picking up The Evolution of Myra Dyer. I'm going to try and pick it up before the end of the year, I think, because I want to read it. I don't know when the last book comes out. I'm having trouble at the moment with these kind of books, because I start a series and the last book's not out until like the end of like next year, and I read so many books in between that I often forget what happens. So I'm torn between finishing off a series or just reading it progressively like that, or marathoning it, or I don't know, but I will probably reread this at some point, because again, all these books were books that I would just read again, and I love that because I could put them on my to read again shelf. So they're keepers. So if you haven't read The Unbecoming of Myra Dyer, definitely a Halloween read, definitely spooky as shit. It's awesome, and I like the maturity level of it. There are some immature scenes, but I like that she doesn't hold back from teenage topics as well, and real life topics that I think a lot of teenagers can relate to. So yeah, I really like that. So isn't it so pretty? And again, I've just noted the shit out of it. So many funny parts. So yeah. And so what's happening with November? November is NANOWRIMO, so I'm trying not to stress out too much about what books I read or what books I want to read. I do have 2 books that I'm currently reading. I'm actually reading a hell of a lot more than 2 books, halfway through a shit ton. But I have Nightshade by NANOWRIMO, which I think I'm about 200 or something pages in. And I'm reading this as a buddy read along with someone else on YA Buddy Read Corner. I'm reading it slowly. Whenever it suits me, whenever I feel like reading it, and it's really actually quite good. I was expecting it to be really werewolfy and stuff like that, and it is, but, or Guardian or whatnot, but at the moment it's more focusing on other stuff as well. I'm trying not to spoil it for you guys, and I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I did, and I thought I would like struggle with this font because the font's just so small, but I can breeze through 100 pages quite easily with this. It's just very, very engaging. So if I do finish the book and like the series, I will probably get the hardback copies of the series and give this book away. And then I also started Supernaturally, and I don't think I was in the right mindset when I started it, because I started it when I was reading Nightshade and Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, but I really wanted to read it as well. I'm just really slowly working through this one. When I feel like sort of, I wouldn't say a light read, but Evie as a character definitely injects some fun to her. She gets crazy and stuff like that. It's really quite fast paced, and I think I'm up to page 75, so I'm hopefully going to finish this in November as well. And lastly, I thought I'd just show you quickly the 2 books that I got in the mail recently, because I do have 2 more coming, but I just ordered those the other day and they won't be here for a while. So as like end of October wrap up, I purchased Teardrop by Lauren Kate. I pre-ordered this one. I have all of her books, but I have never read any of them yet. So I'm a crazy bitch like that. But I've heard like this is really boring. I've just heard like some really negative reviews. I'm not too scared about negative reviews because I like to make my own mind up, but it's kind of daunting as well. I was going to read this as a buddy read, but I clicked on the forum and they were saying a lot of things like it was boring and whatnot, and I just was like, okay. This is what it looks like underneath. I don't know what this powdery shit is. It cracked or something like that? I don't know, but it's just weird. Book Depository, I don't know if you guys have been having trouble with Book Depository, but their books just are in really bad shape. But, yeah. So that's the first in the Teardrop series. And then I picked up the paperback of The Darkest Minds by Alexander Bracken, and this book is like a freaking brick. It is so heavy, but I'm hoping to enjoy it. I don't think I'm going to read it yet. I think I'm going to wait until next year and get Never Fade, and when the 3rd book comes out, if there is a 3rd book, I'm not sure, then I will actually read it closer to date, because again, I want to actually not so much marathon it one after the other, but read them in close proximity so I don't forget shit. Learn my lessons, really. But that is The Darkest Minds, and I know a lot of people are like, oh my god, why are you reading it now? Well, I might, but definitely not high on my list because I want to enjoy it a lot more. So that is my wrap up. That is my planned sort of to be read pile. I'm hoping to read a bit more contemporary books as well this month, because I do need the break from supernatural books, and I have a lot of books I need to finish off before the end of the year that are just sitting there that have been discarded and put aside to read others. So that's my plan, really. If you're doing Nano, you can catch me up with my daily vlogs, and if you would like any reviews on those books that I've mentioned, please let me know in the comment box below. Okay guys, have a fantastic day and have a fantastic reading month. I will see you guys later.